Multiplayer shooters. You see them, you buy them, you most definitely play them. It's safe to say that they are pretty good games.
At least some of them are. From your OG standard first-person experience to some with a bit more unique flavor.
It's got to be the most popular and most played game genre in the history of the online gaming space. But which game is considered the LeBron of multiplayer shooters? The game I'm going to be talking about today is said game. This game is one of the most iconic wonders of the world, just in game form. Having gameplay more action-packed than every James Cameron movie combined.
Noted for its ethereal soundtrack, enough to move Beethoven to tears. Its raw violence brutal enough to bring Genghis Khan to his knees. And its outworldly gameplay experience that will make anyone who plays it transcend above humanity. Garden Warfare 2.
That's better. Listen, I would have worn this for the rest of the video if it did not smell like absolute mustard gas in here.
Garden Warfare 2, the sequel to the already successful Garden Warfare, released in 2014, is a multiplayer shooter based off of Popcap's tower defense strategy game, Plants vs. Zombies. First dropped in 2009 on PC and Mac and 2010 on mobile.
And man, when I tell you, during release, this game went to the fucking moon.
Hitting an all-time high of 6 million players on just consoles worldwide.
Now I can already see you going, man, that ain't shit. COD absolutely destroys those numbers every release.
Well, when you compare a game where you play as a piece of corn that can airstrike zombies with a giant piece of butter to the most popular FPS franchise in the world,
yeah, no shot they can't really compete.
But it still performed really well and still holds up better than most COD slop out there today. And even with Popcap making the interesting decision to turn its OG tower-based game into a shooter of all games, they really hit it on the nail of combining a traditional competitive shooter and mixing in just the right amount of their wacky charm to make a surprisingly really good game.
Stop gassing up that crappy game, bro. Popcap ain't gonna let you hit.
Just ignore him. He's still stuck on his,
max ammo. Yeah, and it still holds up better than your slop. And you've been gassing up this game so bad and never even explained what this game is about, you idiot.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Since I've been praising this game so hard... Actually, hold up. This ain't a cool location. Let me tell you exactly how
Garden Warfare 2 was almost the perfect multiplayer shooter to ever exist. Now, before I go crazy and pour all of this PvZ lore on you that you didn't even ask for,
let's just go over a brief overview of the game. Bien?
Or should I say, bien?
You get it? Cause Garden Warfare 2 and there's a bunch of beams. Alright.
When you're first introduced into this game, you are placed into the Garden Warfare world known as the Backyard Battleground. And this is pretty much your interactive open world menu, free for you to explore every inch. So unlike the first game where all you had was the basic menu screen, you now have your own open world backyard, which is an entire game outside of online play. I mean, the offline features alone have so much to offer. You can go on side quests, discover different secrets, and they even got their own story mode.
Like, I'm 9 years into this game, and I still haven't figured out everything that there is to do.
At your base, you have a multitude of things you can interact with, like the sticker shop to unlock all the good stuff, the solo missions, and the multiplayer portal. Oh, and did I mention you can also switch to the zombie side with their completely own side missions and quests? Pretty crazy, right? The space in between that divides the plant and the zombie side is called the front line. And in the middle is the flagpole where you can raise and play Ring Around the Rosie if you want. And off to the side of the center map, we have the town hall.
Nope, not that town hall. Wrong game. That one.
In the town hall, there are 3 chests and a bird guarding a key to a secret that we'll come back to later. But besides that, the main display is the mystery portal, which offers a variety of randomized limited time game modes each player can play. And
hold on. before we continue the video, I just gotta say, Popcap, what happened to Cats vs. Dinos? That was my favorite game mode that you guys ever released, and I swear you guys put it there like 1 or 2 times and then you just took it out. I am sick of getting Legend of the Brawl every time Town Hall opens. Just please just add Cats vs. Dinos back in the rotation. That is all I'm asking, Popcap. Moving on.
Limited time game modes, each player can play and earn an in-game currency called Rainbow Stars. What are those, you may ask? Rainbow Stars is the in-game currency used to unlock the secret chests that we'll come back to again, I promise y'all. And there's also regular stars to open chests scattered everywhere on the map that contain stuff like coins for the sticker shop, cosmetics, and useless statues you can place in your backyard. With the Backyard Battleground offering numerous game modes, Easter eggs, and secrets, I'd be an absolute idiot to say it's not the main core aspect and the heart of Garden Warfare 2.
And now that we've covered everything about the neighborhood, I think it's now time that we dive into the multiplayer portal.
Now, Garden Warfare is just like a lot of shooters, offering mirror modes to your classics like Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, and Domination. And they also have their own set of unique game modes special to this game, like Gnome Bomb, which is a hot potato-like game mode, and my personal favorite, Gardens and Graveyards, a twist on King of the Hill where either team tries to capture the other team's turf, with each map having their own unique final objective, like destroying a giant robot from flying to space, or trying to sneak in Crazy Dave's mansion to give him a very good time. All game modes have their own cool locations, ranging from a zombie college campus, or a moon base, or China?
And get this, with each game mode having their own variation of an already made map.
What the freak are you talking about, dude?
It's pretty clear that the devs spent most of their map creation on their Gardens and Graveyards game mode, as that's the game mode you literally have to capture like 6 huge zones on. But still, they didn't have to do this, but for a different game mode, they made their own entirely different part of that map. So while it's the same location, like both of them taking place on the moon, they literally made an entire separate location of that map specifically for that game mode.
They could have just recycled that map and put it for every other game mode, but they made an entire new spread. Popcap, I will do you the honor of sucking your toes. I will go get the bigger, better butter now. So I think that's actually all the time that we have for that section, unfortunately, but I think it's time for what you guys have been finally itching for. The characters.
All the characters on both the plant and zombie side are categorized in their own unofficial class type.
For example, the cactus is the sniper, and the sunflower is the healer of the plants, and the foot soldier being the DPS, and the all-star being the big boy.
Each side has 7 characters equipped with their own unique abilities that suit their individual playstyles. Dive characters having more mobility type moves to close in and get fast kills, and dip. Why the freak did I just define the word dive? To show you this fire Super Brains gameplay, ayy! And some having some bullshit abilities to make up for lack of skill. Now, with having the option to pick from 7 different characters on each side, you're probably like, dang, that doesn't seem like a lot of variety at all for the best multiplayer shooter. Oh, just you wait. Now, what if I told you, come closer. What if I told you that for each of the 7 classes, they all have their own variations? Because if you thought this was all you were getting in terms of character selection, I'm glad to tell you that you are absolutely wrong, partner. Because each of the 7 classes on both sides have their own variations, all having their own unique design and weaponry specific for that character. Basic zombie superhero, too boring for you? Here's one as your breakfast platter. Oh, classic pea shooter, just too boring for you? Here's one with a switch. I mean, I can't stress how flexibly cool this is in terms of variety. Like, there is just so many characters to play and master. I mean, even for one of the Imp's temporary powers, which is to summon a giant mech, Every different imp variation has their own special mech and with its own unique abilities.
Popcap, do not make me go get the butter again.
So in total, this game offers you more than 100 different unique characters, each to try out, rank up, and master.
Now what if I told you that there are actually more characters than that to unlock?
Remember that secret that I was talking about earlier, about the chest in the town hall and the stars? Well, if you get enough stars by completing a bunch of quests, you can grab this key guarded by Bird. And if you go down to the underground sewers below the neighborhood, you can use the first key to unlock
The Trials of Nomis.
Why the freak are we rambling about this dome verse? I thought we were talking about new characters.
Yeah, we're getting there, buddy. Calm down, G. In the Trials of Nomis, you step into this time-like realm, and in this realm you are greeted with a giant gnome statue and 4 different colored locked doors. And behind these doors lie
The Trials of Doom and Despair.
Now each of these trials are tests to the player which train different skill aspects, one being balance, one memory, one aim, and one agility / parkour. After completing each trial, you are given a code at the end, and if you fall into the portal in the middle of the Gnomeverse and you put in the code, you have to take down the Gnome Guardian. And you better not be garbage or not pick a garbage character, because during this fight, it's kinda hard to not die. But when you finally defeat the Gnome Guardian, this will unlock a portal next to the giant gnome statue corresponding to that color, which gives you a chest that contains Dave's big fling box. You're telling me I grinded for all that just to get this hot garbage? Well, if you repeat this excruciating process 3 more times and you fight the Mega Gnome, you will unlock the final portal. And in these portals are 2 chests that both require 75 rainbow stars each to unlock?
I'm out.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed, Popcap puts you to work. But if you still have the energy to go and get 150 rainbow stars, you will finally unlock the 2 special, not variants, but individual new characters, the Torchwood and the Hovergoat 3000. And even though this is a huge grind and takes almost forever to do, I will say both of these new characters are very fun and play well into the Garden Warfare world.
Do I think working your greasy ass off in the Trials of Nomis is worth it for both of these 2 new characters? Well, 12-year-old me thought so. But at least I can say that I worked my prepubescent butt off and earned these characters, and nobody else who didn't put in the work can call these characters theirs. You can buy both of them for $10.
But with that quick overview of this game, I can say that this game is the entire package and everything you look for in an ideal multiplayer shooter game. From its amazingly well-crafted maps to its flawless character designs, to its gameplay features and multitudes of game modes, this game didn't miss any of it.
And I didn't even talk about the amazing soundtrack in this game. Like, have y'all not been hearing these absolute bangers? Everyone say thank you to Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Good.
But at release, it seemed like this game was going nowhere but up. The player count was high, the game was a nice breath of fresh air for the multiplayer shooter space, and it seemed like nothing could ever go wrong with a game made so perfectly. When Garden Warfare 2 was still pretty fresh from launch, the game was getting lots of updates, character variations, and new content for its very excited player base. But over time, some of the original devs of the game were disbanded and left the game's support. And without those core devs, Garden Warfare 2 no longer had its official dev team to work on the game. And in the short span of just 1 year, the game was no longer receiving major updates. That isn't until late 2017 where Garden Warfare 2 released their last major content update, which was just a bunch of Christmas themed cosmetics and 2 characters that we already had in the previous game. Guys, that was a misinput. Those characters have been in the game since day 1. Don't know where I got that information, but my fault. On top of that, EA did not want to invest any more into this game. With a lack of microtransactions and no official dev team to save it, the game server still stayed up, but the game would no longer be receiving any new updates or content. And with these unfortunate circumstances, Garden Warfare 2 was declared as dead for its fanbase, as the game remained as a maintenance-only game and remained untouched for 8 years.
And what did Popcap decide to do after all of this? Well, they made a new one.
Since Popcap said its great goodbyes and gave up every ounce of hope they had for Garden Warfare 2,
Popcap and EA went back into the kitchen, and man, did they cook up something absolutely ridiculous.
because in 2019, just 2 years after leaving Garden Warfare 2 in the dust, they dropped their own, you guessed it, third-person hero shooter by the name of Battle for Neighborville. And man, am I glad that they didn't name this game Garden Warfare 3, because the game looks absolutely nothing like it. Because who the greenlit these character designs?
Now, while I wouldn't consider this game the worst of the worst, it just has a butt-ton of problems wrong with it, and when compared to Garden Warfare 2, is just the biggest downgrade possible.
I mean, to start, let's just go over character customizations. Remember in Garden Warfare 2 how you had 8 different characters on each the plant and zombie side? Well, in this game, you now have 10.
Which is like, yay, more variety! I love that! No.
Remember also how Garden Warfare 2 had all the unique variations for each character, right? Well, guess what? In this game, they removed the character variations.
So if we compare both of these games back to back, Garden Warfare 2 offers you more than 100 different unique characters to select from, whereas Battle for Neighborville only offers 23, with 3 of them being behind a massive paywall.
And this is one of, if not the biggest reasons as to why Battle for Neighborville flopped so hard. It removed one of the biggest core aspects of the Garden Warfare series, the staple that people so loved, and Popcap just freaking removed it, and replaced it with character upgrades that, again, the previous game already had. And in this game, they completely altered the designs of these characters, from once was the classic, charming, and iconic designs of the Garden Warfare series,
to something you'd find in your Mima's closet.
and I mean, the characters are alright, like, these characters are legit pretty fun. But I feel like the gameplay, again, is just a huge letdown. The gameplay of each character just seems very slow-paced and doesn't feel as action-packed and interactive compared to its older brothers. Where the old maps from Garden Warfare 2 are just springing with vibrant colors and cool environments in their own worlds, Battle for Neighborville just feels bland and lifeless in comparison. And again, while some of the new additional characters are pretty cool and are fun to play, I just can't stop the feeling that something is missing. In terms of the open world aspect, the game actually does a really good job, offering you an even larger open world hub than Garden Warfare 2, where you can even interact with other online players in your hub. But besides that, the game just felt so weak in comparison to its predecessors, removing most of the treasured features that people adored in the first 2 games, and the new features just not exciting enough to keep the player base satisfied. And with the player base crashing down of the absolute dumpster fire that this game was during release, Popcap decided to again pull the plug. And in just 5 months after the game's initial launch, they would, you guessed it, stop updating the game and dropped it altogether. And with these sad news, it's pretty safe to say that we will probably not be getting another Plants vs. Zombies shooter ever again.
But whoa. Before you get all emotional, partner, let me tell you exactly why, in my eyes, Garden Warfare 2 still stands as my most perfect multiplayer shooter to ever exist.
Man, even in this game in its old age, it's the only game that I never really left. I feel like this game just had too much to offer. Like, I couldn't stop playing it despite me already playing it for like half my life. But let me just glaze on it for a bit, aight? Out of all the shooters releasing during its time, I think it had so much on its resume. Unlike the multitude of Popeye's biscuit-ass shooters that were just the same game, just in different fonts, this game just sticks out from the crowd, even from its own hero shooter category in the best ways possible. While a lot of the shooters all had that standard stale look, Garden Warfare 2 brings something very special to the table. Every character in this game is just exploding with personality, and it just pairs up so great with its extremely colorful and vibrant maps. Like, this game is my childhood and just means everything to me. I mean, it was perfect, everything, even down to the minuscule details that most people would never notice. I mean, starting out in the backyard, it was an entire upgrade from the last game. With so many things to do, so much activity, so much content, every time I load into the backyard, it just feels like I'm back home. Like I'm visiting an old friend, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. And the characters, man, the characters were so cool. It had so much variety, and in every class of character, it just felt like I had so much freedom with its selection. All with their own unique designs, and all their special abilities were so perfectly crafted for them. This game has to have the best replayability out of any game when it comes to just character customizations alone. Man, and the maps, bro, the maps were all so good. Like, I don't even think I can name one bad map in this game. They all fit perfectly into the Garden Warfare verse, and somehow, when I thought they couldn't make better maps than the first game, they made them better tenfold. Every map in this game is just so well thought out, like it legit feels like it's a real location. Even with the small little Easter eggs like the Golden Gnome in the Great White North Cave and the secret Indiana Jones passageway in the pyramid, it felt like the game devs just put so much love into making these cool maps. Even with the smaller stuff, it was so special. The sticker shop where I'd save hundreds and thousands of coins to try to unlock the legendary characters. To the secret unpatched wall glitch to get fast coins in the treasure room. Every parameter of this game is so familiar to me that no other shooter has ever made me feel. And even when this game had such a short lifespan with almost no updates, even if it will never touch the numbers of the OG COD bangers, Garden Warfare 2 will still stand as my LeBron James, as my All Might, as my magnum opus of the entire shooter genre. And now, it's all gone. Well, how does the game hold up today? Surprisingly, really good. The game is still very active and has a decent player base. As of in the process of making this video in December 2025, finding games takes just a few seconds and you can still get games with full lobbies. And why is this near decade-old game still alive despite having almost no updates?
Well, you can thank the big, beautiful community for all this. Wow. Wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Perfect.
The community. You guys are the only thing keeping this game alive. Even when the game hasn't received any updates, people still come back to play this near decade-old game to get back that feeling of wacky, whimsical fun because the game is that good. And with the Garden Warfare 2 revival community currently going around on TikTok, this will introduce even more people to this masterpiece of a game and could significantly raise the player base. And with this, the OG channels that specialized in this game back in the day, most notably Wolfie Plays and Zach Scott, and possibly some newcomers, can bring this game back to life just like before. And who knows, with all this notoriety and attention that this old dusty bun game is getting, it might just be a matter of time until Popcap notices, walks back into the lab, and starts to deliver on what the people have been waiting for. But that's just a theory! A gay theory! Thanks for watching.